Jets.
And anyone else listening or watching, this is Mrs. Corey, and this is
Elijah.
Okay, and he is the son of one of our third grade teachers, Miss Guanez. And we're here to talk to you today about an interesting topic. We're going to talk about some of our favorite animals that have helped the military. Ever since we started as a country way back in the 1700s, there have always been animals that have helped in every single war that we fought for our freedom. And so I have Eli here to tell you about some of his favorite animals that he read about in this book called Military Animals. Yeah. Now, it's not officially in our library, but if you decide you want to come borrow it, I will definitely let you borrow it. Okay, Eli, scoop more in. And which animal do you want to talk about first?
Probably dogs.
Okay.
So that's where is it?
Where's dogs? Cats. Right there. So we need to go to page 24.
And then bats is there any bats anyways?
I don't know if there's any bats. There's bears. So let's talk about dogs. So let's go to page 24. Oh, wait. Yeah, bats.
Okay,
but let's talk about your dogs first. So page 24. Okay.
23.
There we go.
So all this page?
Yeah, or just say, hey, I wanted to, do that page.
I like dogs because they'll help you, and then they'll protect you like huskies.
Okay.
And yeah.
Okay, and how are they used sometimes in the military?
They train them.
Okay, to do what?
To help the army.
Help? Do you know how to help the army? Did you say any way that they were trained?
They're trained to get badges and stuff.
And what else? Do you know?
And then that they would fight.
They would fight. Okay.
Okay. Next.
The next one.
34?
Yeah, 34. I will say, just so you know, also in this book, they're talking about all of the world wars, but they also talk about the dogs that helped in 9/11. But I like this title here that talks about sea dogs, so that's one fact. Dogs have always been popular mascots in the Navy and the Coast Guard. Sometimes they led patrols on foreign shores, searching for food, but mostly they were friends to sailors on long voyages far from home. Now Eli's going to tell you more about bats, and I will let Eli read one of the pages about bats. How's that sound?
Yep.
Okay, here you go.
So I'm going to read all of this where there's a little space right there.
Sounds good.
So I'm just going to read all. When the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor in 1941 during the Second World War, many Americans wanted to find a way to help United States. When one man, Dr. Little S. Adams, came up with the idea of attaching small incendiary bombs to bats and dropping them over Japan from airplanes.
Okay, do you want to read this next paragraph and I'll read the last one? No? Okay. Let's see. Yep. Bats, which can...
When you're done with these two, I'll read this one.
Okay, that sounds good. Bats, which can eat up to 1,000 mosquitoes a day, can carry 3 times their weight. I didn't know that. Did you know that, Eli?
Yep.
You knew that they could do that, carry 3 times their weight?
Yeah.
Researchers believe that the bats would fly into hiding in houses and other buildings with their tiny bombs. Then they would gnaw through the strings that attach the device to their bodies and fly away before the fire started. So just so you know, no bats were harmed this way. Bats were able to free themselves.
Made in Japan. During World War II, many Americans thought incorrectly that Japan's homes of factories were made of paper and wood. If that had been the case, fire starting bats would have caused a lot of damage.
That's cool. And then I have one more paragraph to read. First, the Army and then the Navy, and finally the Marines tried to get the program known as Project X-Ray to work. But it turns out that bats have minds of their own. Many simply flew away while others, unused to the weight of the bombs, fell to the ground. The project was canceled in 1944. So while they did try to use bats, they couldn't use them for very long because bats were like, I don't want to do it. I'm quitting my job. But there are a lot of other animals that have had weird roles in the military. On the following page that I was gonna look at, we're gonna talk about maybe next time are turkeys. Now that seems like a really weird one to talk about. My favorite, which is gonna be very weird that we're gonna talk about in another video, are mules and how often mules were used. 1 million, I'll give you a mule fact right here. Over 1 million mules were used in World War I to carry things around. Anyway, this is Eli once again, and this is Mrs. Corey, and we are signing off on this Friday. It is January 16th, 2020. Jets, I hope you have a good 3-day weekend. Bye, Eli. Bye, Jets.